In this demonstration, we'll begin customizing our project area by defining our project teams and adding some team members. We'll create two functional teams within our project, a user interface team and a core team. In the Team Artifacts view, we can right-click on the temperature conversion project area and show this project in our team organization view. Double-click on the temperature conversion team to open it. Here we see that our development team doesn't currently have any members. Let's add Joe and John. Again, we can search for members by simply starting to type their name and see all matching entries. We'll start by adding Joe and then John. We'll define the role for these users as team members and click Finish. And then we'll save our team area. Again, we're prompted to send invitations to these new team members so that they can easily configure their workspaces in Rational Team Concert to point to this project area. Back in the Team Organization view, we'll now create our subteams. We can right-click on the Temperature Conversion team and choose New Team Area. We'll call this first team area our User Interface team, and they'll be responsible for user interface development. And notice that the parent team area is the temperature conversion team, so this will be a sub-team of our temperature conversion team. Similarly, we can create a core team. And now we can add individual users to those teams. So starting with the core team, we'll add John. As team member and save. And now with the user interface team, we'll add Joe. And save. Now notice that in the team area view, we're given some guidance regarding additional work that we should do in order to make these subteams useful. We need to create work item categories associated with our teams. Work item categories are used to further decompose a project into functional areas. For our project, we'll create three categories: a web UI, an Eclipse UI, and a core to represent the three major pieces of our application. Now let's go back to the Team Artifacts view and open the Temperature Conversion project area again. Click on the Work Item Categories tab and select Temperature Conversion. and click Add Category. We'll create a category called Web UI. Notice that this new category we created is a child category of the temperature conversion category. Similarly, let's create our additional categories for Eclipse UI and Core. And we'll maximize this temperature conversion project area so that we can see what we just did. So here's the three new categories we created: Core, Eclipse UI, and Web UI. Now notice that all of these are currently associated with the default temperature conversion team. We want to take these subcategories that we just created and instead associate those categories with the subteams corresponding to the user interface and core teams. So we select the Core category and select the Core subteam and click Associate. Now any work items assigned to the Core category can only be worked on by the Core team. Similarly, for the Eclipse UI, we'll associate those work items with the user interface team, and same with the Web UI. And now we'll save those changes in our project area. So now we have our work item categories created and associated with the appropriate functional teams for our project. When we categorize new work items by choosing a category in the File Against field of the work item, we will see that only users who are members of the functional team associated with the category show up as users who can be assigned the work item. Let's demonstrate this by creating a new work item. We'll select work items in our Team Artifacts area, right-click, and say New Work Item. We'll create a defect. And notice in our File Against field, we have the choice of specifying the subcategories we created, either Core, Eclipse UI, or Web UI. If we select Core, only members of our Core team will show up in the Owned By dropdown, in this case John. If we were to change the category to be Eclipse UI, for instance, notice that there's an error icon indicating that John is an invalid owner of work items filed against Eclipse UI, so we can fix that by selecting Joe, who is a member of the user interface team. Okay, so we'll cancel that without actually finishing it. But I'd also like you to notice that there's a field in the work item called Found In, where our current choice is only unassigned. The Found In field is used to specify a release in which the particular defect was found.